everyone, and welcome back to the final part of our very first colour along. And in this colour along video we are going to do all of our final details, and they will be using white Posca pen. I also have a range of stickles, and I'll go through the colours that I'll use as I'm using them. I do have a few out, but I'm not sure if I'll use them all. I have my Wink of Stella brush pen. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to use this because I also have this DoCrafts Artiste acrylic paint, which is glitter varnish, and I've not used this before, so I thought I might give this a go because I'd like to make my moon a bit shiny and glittery. So I'm going to go ahead with doing this first, and we'll see how that goes. I'm just going to put some in my palette here. And the paint brush I'm using is just a Royal and Langnickel one. It's a number 6 flathead. I do use this quite a lot for larger surfaces. So I'm just going to spread my paint out a bit onto my brush. So this is meant to be just a varnish, so I'm guessing it's going to dry clear. I'm just going to do the whole of my moon. Depending on how glittery this comes out, or how glittery you want your moon, you may have to do more than one coat. But for these things you'll not know until they're fully dry. It's quite difficult to see where I've already been. Oh. But I'm going to go over the whole of the moon, eyes and everything. This is just acrylic paint, so it will wash off your brush with water. You're not going to need any spirits or anything like that to get it off. It also doesn't have any odour to it, so those with breathing problems, for example asthma, do not have to worry about that. I got my tube from my local range. It is a DoCrafts product, so I would imagine you would also be able to get it from their website. And what I'll do once I've finished this video is I will have a look, and if you can, I will leave the link for the paint in the description box below. Don't worry if you go slightly over the lines. It's just because with the brush that I'm using, it is sometimes difficult to get in all of the smaller areas. Right, so I can put a bit more there. I'm just tilting it towards myself so that I can see where I've been. It's a bit difficult to see when it's flat on the desk. And there we go. I'm also thinking I might put some of that on the ocean, but I'll wait for the moment. So for these big stars, I am going to use a stickle, and for this particular purpose I'm using the colour Goldenrod. And I'm just going to just make sure this comes out. Yeah. So I'm just going to start with the ones at the top. Actually, I'll start with the left and then I'll work my way to the right. So stickles can be a bit tricky to use, especially on specific shapes and smaller areas. What I normally do is I put down my initial gloop and then I let the air back into the tube, and then I use the nozzle to move it about so that it goes in the right direction. Again, with the stickles, you don't specifically have to stay perfectly in the lines. I think something like that, it just depends on the effect you're looking for, really. So I don't know if it will get picked up in the camera itself, but if you can hear a funny grunting sound, that is Frank playing with his favourite toy, which he got around Christmas time, and it is a sprout with a Christmas hat on. And when he first got it, it had a squeaker in it, and the squeaker lasted a week, I think, because he played with it that much. He really likes that sprout. So I'm just trying to do this without touching the moon, because I just want to make sure that the moon dries fully and doesn't get smudged by my hand. Looks alright. So the plan was to have this finished in February, and today is March 1st. But I'm not going to beat myself up about it, because it's not like I have an awful lot to finish on the picture. It's only bits and pieces left to do. Like the finer detailing and adding the glitter and the highlights, and these things don't take too long, so, and it'll get put up the same day, so it will be on later today as well, so that's alright. I'm not going to do March as a colour along this month, I am going to try and do more than one colour along this month, as well as trying to post other videos. I have got plans for my book collection to be posted this month, which will span over a few videos. And also I have a couple of plans to show some other crafts that I like to work on, or at least one more craft that I like to work on anyways, because it's been a while since I've done some of them, and one of my crafts, it would be a bit difficult. In the way that I do my videos, it would be a bit difficult to show you me actually doing it. And to be perfectly honest, I think you might find it a bit boring because I like to knit. But the problem with knitting is that when I do it, I don't talk, I don't watch anything, and I tend to close my ears off because I am still fairly new to knitting and I need all the concentration that I can get for that. So yes, that might not be a good idea to show. So I'm now going to use my Posca pen, and for this I am using a 0.7mm pin type. I do like the pin type. Mine is well used. I use it on all my pictures that I colour in. And I'm just going to first off add in the poor owl's eyes to finish those off. And with this, there's no particular way to do it. I've just remembered that I did not put in the blacks for the cat, and it just so happens that I have my black pencil here, so I'm just going to colour those in. It doesn't matter if you colour in the white or not, because as like the owl, I'm just going to go back in and put it in. There we go. So the cat has little fangs here. I'm just going to put those back in, and then the same as with the owl, I'm just going to add a few bits there, and then here I'm just going to add some highlights. Put one on the owl's hat. I'm just going to turn the page a moment. That's dried, and I'm going to put one down here. And then I'm going to add a one down the side of her top and here. So these you don't have to put where I'm putting mine. You can put them where you find that you feel that they should go. I'm just going to put one along the top of my jaw lid, and just finish off the moon's eye. And then on the hearts, Just make sure that I'm still in frame there. Just going to move this out the way as well. So on the darker side of your heart, I'm just going to put a line here. And I'll do that on them all, but I'm also going to put a small line here. So on this side it will be here. And down here. And then here. And over here. And then on my smaller hearts, I'm just going to put 2 dots here and a small line here. So that's 2 dots, a line, two dots and a line, two dots and a line. Okay. So for the water, where you have your lighter bits, you are just going to give your pen another shake. And you're just going to very roughly scribble over the edges where it's lightest. You can do all of the wave if you want. And this, to me, just makes it look like the frothy white part when you have a wave. This is another thing that, because you're going over black inked lines, you may need to do a couple of times. But you need to leave the pen or the paint to fully dry before going over a second time, because if you try and do it before it's dry, then you're just going to scratch off what you've already laid down and it won't work. So doing this isn't for everyone. Again, everyone does things differently. But the purpose of my videos is to show you the way I do things. You don't necessarily need to go away and do it the way I've done it. If you know another way that you prefer or a better way, then by all means go away and do it that way. That's the whole point of doing things like this, is that you do it your way and then you show your finished picture and everyone sees the way you've done it. Like I say, as for this part, you're just doing the lighter parts of the wave, or the ends of each wave. You can do all of the black lines in the waves, but you don't need to. I think it looks quite effective with just the lighter parts as well. There we go. I'm just gonna do the end of that. Right. Let me just have a look now. So I'm going to use Stickles again, and this time I am going to be using the colour Lavender. And this time we are going to be using it on the base of each petal in the hearts. This one may take a while, but you just want to put a lump and then just thingy it on the base of each petal. So maybe easier if you just do a few lumps like so, or even all the way down one side, depending on how well you can avoid getting your hands into the glue, because I've done that a few times where I've done something and I've either forgotten that I've went and done it and it's not dry, or I've not been very good at manoeuvring around the wet part and I've stuck my hand in, or I've stuck the sleeve of my jumper in and I've had to redo the whole section. Please excuse Frank, obviously something's upset him. What's the matter? What's the matter? Come here, son. Bring your sprout. Dear me, you telling the world? You telling them all that something's upset you? And then do the same again, but going down the other side. Frank's having a right good grumble to himself. There we go. And then just do the same again. Make sure the air is back in your bottle, otherwise you're going to end up sucking the glue back in. And then just use the nozzle tip to spread it around. And this is another thing, I'm using Stickles for this, but I also have what you call Uhu glitter glue sticks, which are a fraction of the price, and they work no different to these. So that's one done there, and then I'm just going to go in and do this one, and I'm just going to put my dots around all the petals on this one. I think I've realised why Frank's having a bit of a grumble, because my neighbours have just gone out, so you could hear the door. And once you know how to do this part, and this way of using the nozzle from the bottle to spread them about, then you actually find, rather than using a brush to spread it about, or your finger, that you're not wasting as much of the glue. Because I have tried the technique where I used my finger to spread about the glue, and not only did I waste a fair bit of the glue from it being stuck to my finger, but it was also very messy. And I've also tried the brush method, which again, a lot of it was still stuck in the bristles of the brush, so a lot was wasted. So I've found that using the nozzle, any that gets left on the end of the nozzle, if it's near the hole for it coming in and out, you can stick it back inside. There we go. So that's those two done. And I'm just going to pull this down to make sure those two at the top are in frame. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. Put my dots on all the petals. And again, I'm just going to use the nozzle to spread the glue about, because that's all a stickle is. For those of you who don't know, it is a form of glitter glue. And you can get them in a vast range of colours. I don't have all of the colours. I have been trying to get a few every so often, but I think my last batch I got was in January, and when I was sorting these ones out, there is a colour called Firefly which I have out now, which is this lovely bright green colour. I have 3 bottles of that. I'm not quite sure how I managed to get 3 of the same colour when I've been trying to get 1 of every colour. I knew that one of my bottles is nearly empty, so I don't know if I went and ordered one and then forgot I ordered that one and ordered another one without realising it. Maybe that's what happened. So I'm just going to turn the book because I don't want to get my gold stars to be lumps of just little globs of gold. I would recommend for stickles to leave them overnight to dry, at least 2 hours. When they're spread out like this, definitely overnight when you do a bigger area like the stars and you don't spread them out as much. There we go. And then, in fact, I'm going to turn the whole picture upside down. Dear me, son, what's wrong? Come here. Come here, sweetheart. Come get some ham. Why don't you go and have a nap? He's away off to tell the neighbours off again by the sounds of it. Right, so for this last one, I'm just going to do the same again. Normally Frank's really good when I do my videos. I don't hear a peep out of him. He's normally at my feet, having a nice little nap. But some things just really set him off this afternoon. And he is not one happy bunny. Or in this sense, one happy little puggy. Are you, sunshine? Not a happy puggy at all. There we go. And then I'm just going to put my lid back on this one, and I'll turn it back around for you. There we go. Just make sure that the majority of this is in frame there for you. Right, so let me just have a quick look. So for me personally, I would prefer a little bit more glitter to my moon. The reason why I'm using this goodness me. The reason why I'm using this glitter varnish rather than a stickle is because, yes, I like it glittery and shiny, but as you can see with the stickles, they are like in your face glittery, and with the moon here, I like it to be quite subtle and not in your face. I'd like it so that when you look at the picture certain ways, you get that nice hint of glitter and shine, rather than boom, here I am. So I'd rather not have the attention brought to the moon itself. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that glitter. Try and get it back in the tube somehow. Maybe unscrew the lid. There we go. Just have another nab at that. That's better. Yes, I like that now. I like that indeed. So I'm just going to go back to my white Posca pen, and I'm just going to quickly go back over some of the edges of the waves now that they'll have dried a little bit. And then using the same Posca pen, I'm going to add a few white dots around the stars. Just to make them look a bit like faraway stars. Oops. That's what I mean about putting your hand in the stickles. Luckily I didn't put it in too much that it took it away. There we go. And then, like it says, I'm just going to put a few dots around in the sky, just to add a little bit extra. My poor little boy is not happy at all tonight, and I've just done it again. I may very well have to go back over that bit. There we go. So that's that. I'm just going to come back in with my lavender there over in the top corner. Oh, dear me. What a time I'm having today. It's a good job that wasn't a big clump. There we go. And on the water around the bottom here, I'm just going in with Twinkle. I'm not sure if you can see that in the camera or not, but it's a clear one and it just has like blue specks of glitter in it. And I'm not going to use a lot. It's just going to be at the base of the waves. And again, it's just going to be a little bit. And this is just to finish it off. Here. And a little bit here. And there we go. So, I didn't use my greens, but that's perfectly alright. I hope everyone has enjoyed this colour along, and I can't wait to see anybody's pictures who have joined in. You can come along and post those to my Facebook page, which is Honour Your Crafts. There is also an official Kelly O'Gorman Facebook page, which I will post the link for in the description, where you can go along and also post your finished pictures. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you would like to see more of my videos. If you would, please subscribe, like my video, and if you want to get regular updates as to when I post videos, click on that bell. And again, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.